Welcome to the Jamie Hicks Investigation, Part 4. I placed a phone call to the LaSalle, Illinois Mayor Jeff Grove. He, in return, requested a meeting. The mayor decided to surprise me with an additional 3 people at that meeting. Overall, it was fairly productive, but I could tell he severely underestimated me. This video contains a small portion of the audio throughout our hour and 20-minute meeting. You will also see small portions of video evidence.
Okay.
You keep violating, sir.
Dawn, did you want to come up? Okay.
You keep ignoring. Smile at him because you got me fired up, right? Will you be quiet, please? Smile, you too, buddy. Smile.
You know what? I'm gonna ask you to leave. I can't. You're disrupting everything.
You're disrupting nothing.
No.
People had their choice to talk, but I kind of mentioned in that meeting, I don't know if you saw the whole meeting notes, but before public comment, I said, hey, just so you guys know, I'm not going to answer questions tonight. This is your 5 minutes. Feel free to text me, email me, set up a meeting with me, and we can go over things then. But this is your time, and I don't want to take away from it. And now I can't speak for the aldermen. People think the aldermen are under me. They're not. They're voted just like everybody else. You know, this isn't my building. This isn't Julie's building. This is our building. It's the taxpayers' building.
Exactly.
So you'll never hear me say, hey, get out of my building or whatever. But we have to have some organization back to the meeting as far as protocol, right? So everybody has an opportunity to speak, and they should be allowed to speak. And it goes both sides, right? You know, nobody should be chirping from behind here to the crowd, and the crowd shouldn't be chirping when somebody else is talking up here. And I don't know if you're able to watch that whole video from the beginning. So you can hear me saying, Jamie, please, we're not gonna have cat calls over people as they're talking.
Yeah.
Did you remember hearing that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do you know how many times Jamie was asked to remove other meetings?
I couldn't really tell you.
You don't know?
No.
One other time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he was fine when he left.
That one in October.
I'm not for sure what the date was, but
He didn't sound fine, I'm going to tell you right now, because I actually just released the recording that he took of Smudge and him outside, because apparently he must have been separately recording from his pocket.
okay.
And he did not sound fine. He actually sounded rather fucking upset. Which also, like I'm saying, I'm not here to be a rep for him either.
No.
It's
You're looking for
as a whole. I mean,
Yeah.
there's going to be other me's, other hims.
Well, just so you know,
including
I
outside
usually
of
would
this.
probably have
So-
Mike sit on me with this, but I was really disappointed how you kind of berated him. You know, because I think he's been pretty
I
fair.
berated him.
Well, right now you're saying he was.
I'm being honest. This
Well, I'm
is
being
nothing I
honest
would say
too.
straight to his face,
Right.
and I would hope he would appreciate it. I mean, what am I going to get on YouTube and, oh, fuck these guys, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That's just not what I'm doing. And,
Well, I'm glad you're
and
not.
I felt like my coverage of it was fair. Why did you put hands on Jamie at the meeting?
There'll be a police report on it, okay? There's obviously,
Are you going to try and hem him up, and because you put hands on him,
We don't
you're
do
going to try and pull that?
That's a shame.
I'll be honest, I was disappointed
yeah.
in you.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. I'm sure you were.
What gave you the right to do such a thing?
There'll be a police report on it.
So you didn't have the right?
There's a video of it.
Of course there's a video of it. There's multiple videos of
Right.
it.
There's a video and audio.
And so why wasn't he arrested then? I mean, as we both know, actually, I don't even really know Jamie. I've seen him around.
Right. No, he was escorted finally then outside and.
You
to
didn't
the point
shove him
where-
around though?
Come on. That's a shame that you actually said.
Did you?
Absolutely not.
Did you put your hands on him? Do you know how long I
There's
did
a
in
video
jail
of it.
for being side by side with someone?
I understand that.
6 weekends.
And do you know how hard this job is? I think you
Chief,
understand that.
I do understand that. I understand that more than you realize.
Okay,
But
I'm
you
glad
took
you're
this
right.
job, and you have a responsibility to maintain your composure.
Right.
And if he
my
was doing something to be
composure
put under
wasn't
arrest, then he should have been arrested,
there's a
right?
video.
And I'm for
You
that.
don't technically have to, if you arrest somebody, you can technically leave them go.
But if he's disabled, why would you put hands on him?
Disabled.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? Like what? I don't.
Not have him up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, I would first try to actually arrest him before shoving him around personally.
Well, I think if you watch the video, you can see.
I hope
Okay?
so. I
I've
hope
got to make a
so.
couple phone calls, and then I'll check and get you that policy. Okay. Let me just run it by Jim McFetter.
My only problem is we didn't send the video out till when?
Be Wednesday, Thursday.
And when did you send your video out?
I have no idea.
It was prior to our video going out.
Actually, it was
So that's,
the morning.
when I think of accountability, what do you think of accountability when you think of accountability?
What do you mean, being accountable for your own actions? Well, what do you mean?
Well,
What are you asking?
So my question is, when I want to hold somebody accountable,
Uh-huh.
is I'm doing exactly what you're doing now. You go meet with people, try to find out situations from all sides, and then you make your best judgment. I honestly will say, I will challenge you a little bit, because I don't think, since you didn't have our video, you just had one video, you did not have all your facts. And that's the only thing that disappointed me in Angels, because I know you usually do your facts.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're getting disappointed in me, because it's like, I think we've been fair to you. I hope you feel that way. And I think you've been fair back to us. But when you don't do that, I'm gonna do the same thing you're doing to me, is I'm gonna say, hey, can we have a conversation, talk about it? Because I don't think that was fair. I'm just being honest. We have a new system in place, because we've been working on this all week, that hopefully we're gonna be able to roll out where we won't get to that point. Now, do I support what Mike did there? 100%. You might disagree with me, but we're gonna work on a situation that basically doesn't make that situation happen again. Does it make sense? Because I'd rather take the bullet out of the gun, so we don't ever have that situation. And that's what we're working on, and we're hoping, Angel, by Monday, we're gonna have a plan, and we'll be able to roll it out to everybody,
I hope so.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Again, this is a situation where a year ago, shoot, everybody could talk, and it was so nice, and it was a peaceful meeting. Now, I'll be honest, man, I come to meetings, I'm like, I like to zap people, I like to get fired up. But when I come myself, and I'm like, oh God, here we go, and that's not because of one particular person, it's just because this is what our meetings have become over the last year and a month, And I'm gonna be honest, when we get these things lined up better, it's gonna be good for everybody. Everybody's gonna feel free that they, I'm talking up here, I'm not being interrupted from the back, I'm not being interrupted from this back.
The context is very much important. In this particular case, which we won't get into detail, he wasn't actually the one who had the 5 minutes to speak at that time. He was talking over someone else who was attempting to convey a point, and it happened throughout the entirety.
I think that's the biggest thing that can help clear your confusion, because you said you were confused about what could happen and making sure that you don't want to get kicked out. I don't think it was what is said so much as when it was being said. So when they're trying to conduct business, and it's not the turn of the citizen to have public forum or openly speak, and they're speaking and yelling things from the back, and it becomes disruptive to the meeting, that's where the warning process occurred, when the mayor said, hey, you have to stop, they kept calling from the back, and he did, he kept yelling, take the effing smirk off your face, and instigating from the back when it wasn't. If he wants to come up during his 5 minutes and say those things, I don't know that we can stop him, or even care if, he can say whatever he wants. But when you're trying to conduct a meeting, and they're trying to debate policy and vote on what should and shouldn't be allowed or permissible, he's there to observe and witness. And that's not the time for him to be yelling stuff from the back. And he's been warned multiple times not to do that. His wife even asked him to stop, and he told his wife to shut up. And that was disruptive to the meeting, and
That's just uncomfortable for the audience sitting around, and that's what makes them not want to attend the meeting.
you probably recognize the line too of when you're up here and it's your turn for public speaking, and you can say what you want, but when you're back there and they're trying to conduct business and you're yelling stuff out and being disruptive to the meeting, that being problematic. That's where I think maybe hopefully the confusion gets cleared with you, that was the line where Jamie was crossing.
If you ever get targeted from anybody on my team, you let me know.
I will.
But I'm just letting you so you know, did you notice how I responded to him on there, when he brought that up?
Yeah.
He wanted to limit to 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Or we're gonna let this guy back in. And I said, well, we'll figure out what's going on. But again, I was hoping it was a one-off situation where we don't have to worry about it again. Now, that was the second time Jamie had to be asked to leave. But I'm hoping that we're gonna make a situation where we don't have those situations, right?
I guess every time he's asked to leave, though, and like I said, I'm not here to advocate for him, it turns physical. You know what I mean? So it wasn't the please be quiet to the lady or the smile buddy, it was specifically that he kept talking out of turn. What, I guess, I just don't understand.
And now if you watch that
How
whole,
he was also
if you
talking.
watch that whole video,
He doesn't have a turn.
there were multiple times when Jamie
He's
was
an
talking.
alderman.
There were multiple times Jamie talked before I even said, hey, no cat calls, Jamie. You know what I mean? So there were other times that, and I didn't say anything. So if you count, there's probably 3 or 4 times, at least 3 before I even said, hey, we can't have cat calls, because I know he was upset with what Alderman Bassett brought up about the 5-minute time frame, and that's up to the council to change that. I'm comfortable that if you know, somebody's talking and they need more time, and the alderman say, hey, let's give that person more time, then let's do it, you know? Because every situation is different, right?
Yeah.
So,
But our elected officials are up there and have the right to debate policy. And whether we like what Alderman Vestal was saying or not, he has the allowance to do that. They're up there and it's their time to talk with the microphone and to debate them. It was not Jamie. So when he's up there in the back telling the aldermen and the police chief to wipe the F and smile off their faces, that's disruptive too. That's not his time to talk. It is their time to talk.
You had attempted,
Yeah.
Mayor, to talk, to continue the conversation and not acknowledge that, to keep the meeting going, but obviously at that point you realize you can't.
could have been Jeff Grove, could have been whoever, I don't care, you know, how that happened. I want to talk to you because I just think that, again, I kind of said it, I think, personally, I think you should have had more of the facts prior to going out. And because I usually do.
I wasn't even
Usually
there
you
for that,
do,
though.
so
Yeah,
I was
just
like,
that.
you know,
Yeah,
because
just
I want, people listen to you, so I want you just to be fair with us. I mean, if we deserve, then give us that. But if it's a situation where it's like, well, you know what, see LaSalle actually didn't maybe counter things here, but maybe they did make a couple mistakes, but nothing like is being blown out, snowball to be, then I want you to have enough courage to say, you know, hey, I was there, I saw more information, I did my accountability, I did my research, this is what I came up with. And I said, Mike, I said that, you know, prior to last money, when situations come up and I give a warning and it continues on, I said, please escort the person out. So
And
it's
if
already
they
in the
disagree, he has the opportunity at
Yeah.
that point to stop it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that.
And that's why I wasn't going to, because we have that understanding, direction from me, till we get to that point to do so. So,
Council as well.
Yeah, correct.
I guess,
do you have any problem with that?
what,
Because I'm friends with Dina.
with him telling her to be quiet, please?
I don't think he said be
And the
quiet.
police part.
I didn't hear be quiet.
What did he say?
What's another word for be quiet?
Did he say shut up? I don't remember.
So anyway, but it's
I
funny how
wrote down
that's,
be quiet, so
so
maybe
that
we're
to
getting
me,
wrong, I don't know.
is that being, you know, that's disrespectful.
You fired up, right? Will you be quiet, please? Smile, you too, buddy. Smile.
You know what, I'm gonna ask you, Lee.
A little more accessible, like, I don't know if the first time we came in, if we had FOIAs right at the desk or not. There were people a little confused what a FOIA was the first time. So now we have FOIA forms at the front with my name card in there if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, look.
Normally, people just email or write it down, but we have FOIA forms at the front now.
Put
And
it
I
in a
also
tampon
advise
box.
them, also advise them that if they feel we're not doing something correct, or you say, hey, what about this, and they don't know what it is, to just take that information down if I'm not there, and acknowledge that if we aren't doing something appropriate, or we're not doing something per statute, that we're going to learn from it and do it differently. So I always say that when she comes in, or when somebody comes with the camera, that, you know, even if we don't have something right where it's supposed to be, that this is a learning lesson for us, and then we improve it for next time. So,
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like I really try to not give people a hard time, especially like
right.
the ladies working up front and stuff, as
Yeah.
long as somebody's not sideways to me at every location.
And you let us know if anybody's sideways to you, because that's not that's not customer service.
You know, I
Remember, I get the door for you.
appreciate that. You know, and that's the thing, is I actually haven't had one bad experience with any of the cops here.